Oops. Are you craving a high protein meal that's one pan, packed with bold flavors and super easy to make? Well, today we're making a cheddar jalapeno sausage and rice skillet with a fresh Mexican slaw that's zesty, crunchy, and the perfect balance to our cheesy, creamy, spicy dish. This is a weeknight game changer and you won't believe how quickly it comes together. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mindy and I have lost over 125 pounds using GLP medications as a tool. And if you are looking for simple, delicious, and protein-packed recipes that actually satisfy your cravings, you're in the right place. I've been on a weight loss journey for over 3 years, and finding recipes that are packed with protein that are still fun, delicious, and easy to make have been a game changer to my journey. Today, I'm showing you how to make this one-pan cheddar jalapeno sausage and rice skillet. It's creamy, cheesy, a little spicy, and loaded with protein. And to lighten things up, we're making a quick, fresh Mexican slaw for some tangy, crunchy freshness on top. Trust me, you're gonna wanna make this again and again. Let's get into it. It's much earlier in the day and I could have even done this yesterday, but I was feeling a little lazy, so I didn't. I'm just gonna throw together this slaw. Slaw is kind of one of those things that when you let it sit for a little while, it gets real delicious. I'm gonna start with making the dressing. How am I gonna make the dressing? That's a great question, Mindy. I'm gonna start with yogurt. Greek yogurt is a protein powerhouse. There's a reason that you see it in so many protein recipes. I don't mind Greek yogurt at all in savory applications. To me, it tastes almost identical to sour cream. So in this particular iteration, it should do just fine because sour cream and Mexican food is best friends. I am using a recipe for inspiration that I found on the internet, but as always, I am making modifications to it to fit my taste and also to bump up the protein a little bit. So the recipe that I found, all of the recipes for Mexican slaw that I found used a ton of oil, which I don't understand because I've never used oil in a coleslaw. I have used mayonnaise though, so that's a thing. I'm just making a small amount of slaw because my husband won't eat it. It's just meant to be like a little garnish on top to add some freshness and some crunch and some delicious. So I'm only doing a half a cup of Greek yogurt, which is 113 grams. I'm gonna use the displacement method with my kitchen scale. If you do not have a kitchen scale, I cannot recommend them highly enough. They are my favorite kitchen tool, especially because I don't like washing dishes. Okay, so 113 grams is what we're looking for. 13.2, good enough. Some lime juice. I'm gonna roll this to get it going. Nice little tip, if you have a really hard lime, you can pop it in the microwave for about 10-15 seconds first, and it will give you way more juice. Little tippy tip. The juice of about half a lime, I think, should do it for me. We're gonna add a little bit of cumin, 1/8 of a teaspoon, like a little bit more than a pinch. I'm gonna add some tahini because it's delicious. Only a teaspoon of honey, just for a little bit of sweetness. And that's 7 grams, which is more than you would think. There you go. Salt and pepper. The winner chicken dinner ingredient here is gonna be pickled onion juice. So I made these pickled red onions for my wraps. If you missed that video, check it out here. Delicious. I love pickled red onions as a condiment. They're fantastic to add to anything. But the liquid is sweet, tangy, savory, oniony, delicious, and I think it'll be perfect in this slaw. I don't know, maybe like a tablespoon. And don't worry, I'm gonna be adding some of the pickled red onions to it later too. Just wanna add a little bit of liquid in there also. Get all those sauce ingredients good and incorporated. Oh, I forgot something. Ooh! Yes, I forgot garlic. I was gonna add some fresh garlic in here. I'm gonna use my little handy dandy garlic peeler here. Take the garlic, put it in this little tube and give it a roll. And it just pops right out all peeled and everything. This garlic clove has seen some better days, but I don't care. Well, I have this extra little baby. He should go in there too. I don't want him to be sad. Can get a little bit more of that spicy garlic flavor out by using the side of your knife to crush it up a little bit. The more you break down those cell walls, the more that the allicin comes out. And that's the part that makes garlic kind of spicy and delicious. Pour that in there. I'm gonna add a little bit more pickled onion juice. Needs a little more salt. Okay, I'm gonna set that to the side over here. I'm gonna get out my little mandolin. I'll leave a link down in the description. It just makes the slicing this way easier. You can always just buy pre-shredded cabbage. It's just way cheaper to shred it yourself. And honestly, when you have one of these, it's super fast to shred it yourself too. A quarter of a small head of cabbage that's kind of on its last legs here. Cut off the little brown ends and the core. Here comes Helios because he hears me cutting up cabbage. You're a weird dog. You know that? You need some cabbage. Can you say please? You're a good boy. Is it crunchy? Another one? Good boy. There is a safety handguard that comes with this that I really should use. That took like 10 seconds. So that's probably about 2 cups of shredded cabbage, I would say. Slice these up as thin as I can. Throw them in with the rest. This slaw would be a really good topping for tacos too. I like to use cabbage instead of lettuce on my tacos because I think it tastes better and it's crunchier. Some pickled red onion in here. Just, I don't know, a couple of ounces. Some cilantro. And if you don't like cilantro, just leave it out. I'm just gonna do, I don't know, a couple tablespoons, quarter cup, however much you like. I think also for some fresh onion flavor, I'm just gonna do 1 green onion. Greens and whites, everybody in the pool. Okay, all right, and let's just give this a stir. All those veggies coated in that dressing here. This would honestly probably work better with some tongs, but I don't want to dirty another dish. It's a little saucy, but that's okay. Oh, that dressing's good. Just gonna stick some plastic wrap on here, stick it in my fridge, let it hang out until dinner time. I will plop that on top of my skillet for some tangy, crunchy, fresh deliciousness on top of my creamy, cheesy, ricey skilletness. See you at dinner time to put together that skillet. It's dinner time. The star of tonight's show is the Good and Gather Jalapeño Cheddar smoked chicken sausage. I talked about this in last week's video. If you missed it, check it out here. I have recently discovered these chicken sausages. They have several different flavors and I love them. I saw this flavor and it inspired this entire recipe. Really wanted to find something to put this in. I think it would also be really good in like a Mexican street corn style soup or any number of things, but I ran across this recipe and was like, oh, that would be easy enough to adapt, and I think it should be delicious, I hope. Let's find out, shall we? We're gonna start with a tablespoon of oil of choice. This is avocado oil, and oh my gosh, that pan is hot. I had turned it off, but apparently not early enough. Okay, we're gonna get my onions and serranos in the pan. I am already deviating from the recipe because the recipe says to brown the sausage first and set it aside and all that, and that just sounds like entirely too much trouble for me. So we're gonna do it this way. I went ahead and sliced up my chicken sausage earlier. I sliced into one of the sausages and it was like this full-on cheese pull. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to this because it's against my religion not to season every layer. You can use jalapeno here if you want. I use serrano because Richard and I like a little more heat. I'm mustard gassing myself. I'm gonna grab my sausages out of the fridge. The one annoying thing about those sausages, annoying/cool things about those sausages, is that they're packaged for individual consumption. So like, they're made so that you can easily just heat up one sausage. So when you want to use the entire package for a recipe, you have to like unwrap each individual sausage link. But you can see the little sausage, the cheesy bits. You can use any kind of sausage you want, but I mean, why wouldn't you use this? They're only $3.99 a package for 12 ounces of sausage, and I used 2 packages for this. That was 1 yellow onion, diced, minced, whatever, and 1 serrano chili. that I took most of the ribs and seeds out of because I could smell it and it smelled hot. All right, I think that's good enough for me. Got a little bit of color on some of the sausages. Onions are good and caramelized. Now I'm gonna throw in my garlic. I have 3 very large cloves of minced garlic and mix in until it is fragrant, about a minute or so. And then I'm gonna throw in my seasoning, 3 teaspoons of kosher salt. If you're using regular salt, you'll wanna reduce that probably to about 2 teaspoons. Got about 3/4 of a teaspoon of oregano, paprika, and then I added in some cumin and coriander because delicious. Let that bloom in the oil. 3 1/4 cups of water. If you use regular chicken broth, you would use chicken broth here, but I'm using about 3 1/4 cups of water, and then I'm gonna throw in some chicken better than bouillon, about a tablespoon worth. The recipe says to add in the cheese with the rice, which seems really odd to me. I don't ever have good luck boiling dairy products for an extended period of time. It always ends up curdling on me. I'm also going to be adding some Greek yogurt to this, which is not in the original recipe, but it just felt like an opportunity to add some creaminess and some additional protein. I'm going to be adding that at the end once the rice is cooked. So I'm gonna bring that to a boil really quick. I'm gonna resist my impatient urge to add the rice in too soon, because once I add the rice in, it's gonna bring the temperature down even more and it'll take even longer to bring it up to a boil. So I'm gonna wait until this is like fully boiling before I add in the rice. And I'm gonna be adding in 2 cups of rinsed and drained jasmine rice. Stir that in, put on the lid, reduce that to a simmer, and we're like words are hard. We're gonna let that go for 20 to 25 minutes until the rice is tender, and then I'll be back. It's been 20 minutes. Let's look at this baby. I did add some more water to this at one point because it looked like it was getting dry. I'm gonna turn this off, and then I'm gonna just randomly scatter this cup of Greek yogurt around. And then I'm gonna put the lid back on so that that yogurt can heat up so that it's not like cold. And then I will steer that yogurt into the rice so that it can get good and creamy. And then we'll top it with the cheese, put the lid back on again, and let the cheese melt all up in it. I'm excited. Are you excited? There's still the slaw. Ooh. Okay, let's let that warm up. All right, so it's been about 3-ish minutes. Stir this in. I did turn it back to low, trying to be gentle because I don't want to break up my rice too much. I think I did add too much liquid. The rice is going to be mushy. Sprinkle on my cheese. This is 4 ounces of reduced fat Colby Jack cheese, which is a half a block. Always shred your own cheese unless you don't have the time, and then don't. I don't care. It always melts better. And then put the lid on, let that melt, and then we're gonna eat. I was second guessing myself. I have a hard time with rice when I don't do it in a rice cooker. I'm always afraid I'm gonna overcook it, undercook it, not enough liquid, too much liquid. And I added more liquid against what the recipe was telling me. And I ended up making it a little on the mushy side, but my husband said he's not mad at it. Let's give this a taste. I really like the slaw. It's creamy and tangy, and a little zingy from the onions. Obviously the crunch of the cabbage. And the rice is soft, but it's not total mush. The sausages are delicious. It has spice, but it's not too spicy. If I hadn't removed the ribs and seeds from that Serrano, I have a feeling it probably would have been a little on the spicy side for me. Probably not for my husband, but Very comfort foody, stick to your ribs kind of food. That giant pan is supposed to be 6 servings. I have a feeling for us it's gonna make more like 8. They're very large servings. My bowl was slightly smaller than my husband's and we only did about a quarter of the pan. Maybe slightly bit more. This is very tasty. If I hadn't been filming, the whole thing probably would have come together in about 25 minutes. So, if you wanted to save some more calories, you could sub out some of the rice for cauliflower rice. I shared that tip with you guys last week. 1/6 of the pan of rice and 1/3 of that coleslaw is 577 calories and 36 grams of protein. So it's about 26% protein for this particular meal, which I prefer to shoot for more like 30%, but it's still definitely a high protein meal. I hope that this is something that you guys will try because it's real delicious. And that's it. This is such an easy high protein meal that's perfect for meal prep or a quick weeknight meal. I can't wait for you to try it. I wanna give a huge thank you to my Buy Me a Coffee members. Your support means the world to me and I could not do what I do without you. As a little thank you, all of my members received free access to my weekly meal plans and all of my printable recipe cards. I'll be coming out with a new one soon for that protein peanut butter dip, which I have crafted to perfection. Take a look at this video here if you missed it. If you are interested in supporting my content, I always have a link down in the description to my Buy Me a Coffee page. Feel free to check it out, no pressure. If you enjoyed this recipe, please make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my cooking content. I also do weight loss result videos on Fridays, so stick around to see how this weight loss journey continues. Be sure to let me know down in the comments what your favorite high protein meal is. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back.